Hi guys, this is Juno and welcome back to another account improvement in Summoner's War. We are on Blood Ghost 07's account and he requested several improvements. One being Dragons Abyss hard, knowing that with the new update he wanted the fastest time possible. He does have a Lucifer and he was running something with that, but it wasn't working, is what he told me. When I tested it out, it was running pretty well, I think, but I guess I didn't run it enough because he was telling me that it wasn't consistent. But the time was around 30 to 40 second range, which is still decent but not the fastest, especially with the new unit out, AGRIUS. So I did take up that job. Well, initially when I asked him if he has a Dragon Abyss hard team, he said yes, but it's not working well. I thought he was a very early game player telling me that, hey, I'm just making my Dragons team and I can't get it to work. So I thought it was going to be an easy job, but no. It's a fairly early game account, but it's been farming well and he has a lot of crazy toys. So he was still striving for that speed team, and that kind of got me nervous because maybe I spoke too soon. Without looking at rune quality, it's not that easy to create a AGRIUS speed team without looking at the runes. But nonetheless, I already gave him my word, so I definitely wanted to try it out. And then he also wanted an AD. He again had a Lucifer AO that he believed was good enough, and then he just wanted an AD, so I created that. He wanted a dimensional dungeon team, the one that farms Swift, which is Caldrian or something like that. So you'll see what kind of team I went for that. And then finally we'll be working on RTA. I already runed up the team. That will be on the next video. So you can see that the account has been only created for 320 days. Arena, he did get G1, so I think that's why he wasn't really interested in AO either, because he already reached that Guardian rank. World Arena is F3, not really playing specially. He is in a Punisher guild. Dungeon runs, you can already see that he was running this type of team that got 24 seconds, right? And it is the quickest. So my team did not beat this time, but it is not safe. But my team is a lot more stable, a lot more consistent, so that's good. His Giants team showed 25 seconds, but it was a lot slower than this as well. I was confident that I could make him a faster team, well, a more consistent team around the 20 to 30 second range. But again, he had a decent team, so I didn't suggest that. And he's doing the Steel Fortress, the Necropolis, which is great. Oh, he wanted a solo R5 team, the regular one, and you do see that we created him something in the middle here that did get a 26 second run, but it is not consistent around that time. It's more of the 28 to 30 second range. I didn't go with the conventional fast team that we all know about because one, he didn't have all the units built. It's just a lot of units that you have to build, right? And then two, he was getting low on the damage rune sets, so I just made him a conventional team. I'm not going to show you guys the R5 team because I'm pretty sure there are just so many videos now on that, and it's pretty much an early game thing now, I think, for many people. I think that many of you guys know how to build that. Hey guys, before we start the video, if you guys are interested in getting advice and help from me and other Summoners War players, feel free to join my Discord, where the link is in the descriptions below. Also, if you enjoy my content and want to support me, become a Patreon. I want to say I appreciate all the support. Anyways, that was it. Let's get back to the video. So the more important thing that I want to talk about is Dragons and the team that I built. And I did not state this in the AGRIUS video that I've made, is that if you're having a hard time getting your Julie to one-shot the waves, even after all these accommodations, right, with no speed, then go with the Julie lead, because that's what I had to do on this account. I was losing my mind because I was running it the way I made my video, so I was like, I am missing like one tick of damage. This is the Julie, it has the higher attack than my own Julie, higher crit damage than mine, so in paper it seemed like it should have no issue clearing the waves, but the artifacts we're lacking a lot. You can see here we're lacking a lot of additional damage by attack, which really didn't get this to work. You'll see it work sometimes, but the other times it didn't, and when it didn't, then there's a chance of failure, or it just wasn't consistent enough. See, it seems like it's working, but like a lot of other people, there's just that one tick that sometimes the Julie does not do, and some units survive, which causes the entire rune to go haywire. I didn't want that to happen, and thankfully I remembered that the Julie has an attack lead, which allows you to mitigate that missing damage that you have and finally run this dungeon more consistently. See, I mean, it works, but trust me, it did fail. Reason why, I didn't want to give it back to the account owner in that state, trying to figure out what I could do. In the end, this was the real solution, and with that, no instances where we don't do enough damage and the runs are very, very clean. So it's just the same thing. The only downside of this build is that you have to make the AGRIUS on 100 crit rate, but I don't think that ruining up this unit is a problem for many people, because you could go various builds on this unit to get the build that you want. I think the most common one actually is going to be Swift, because it makes you get the speed requirement and also some decent damage. And I think really the speed requirement is the biggest thing. You can see there, it was very close. Oh no! So if you miss both, I think if you missed both attack lead and stuff, it causes you to fail. Wait, we succeeded that. Wow, I think we were pretty unlucky there. So maybe if he gets the grinds that he's missing on these units, it will not be like this, because he is missing grinds and gems. He wasn't farming a whole lot of R5, unfortunately. Yeah, that was a very unfortunate run. I think we missed something. Let's see this again, because usually that doesn't happen. It's very clean here in most cases. It should clear this with no issues. And let's look at this boss stage again, like what happened here. Okay, we got the branding, right? We needed that. Actually, we don't need that. Yeah, we usually should be doing a lot more damage there. The 28-second was the average that I was seeing. I want to say that was a very unfortunate run. After this run, let's get out and just see the AGRIUS build. And if we do see some runes that could be upgraded with some grinds and gems, then we know that this could be an easy fix. Yeah, even this mid boss, even if you don't get a branding or anything, we should be able to kill that with a second boost. Here it is. Okay, so if we don't use skill 2, which is usually here, we landed a slow. I think this plus one more should be enough. Yeah, it's enough, huh? I wonder what happened. Let me stop this. AGRIUS build. Yeah, it is on Swift Blade, and so we could get more speed. So that's a very easy improvement that you can make. It's only 261, which should be... Yeah, I mean, I think AGRIUS could go all the way up to like 260 something. There's the crit damage that you could get more of. More attack, more speed. Don't get too much speed, because I do think that if you get a little faster, sometimes the boost does not go on her. So you have to keep that in mind as well. Yeah, you could definitely get more attacks here and there. Yeah, 2% there. 4% more on crit damage. 1% more there. I do think that you could dish out some more damage here and there, for sure. A little unfortunate though that we saw that case. Anyhow, I ran it 30 times multiple times, and the average was 28 seconds. And I think that's a big plus for him. That's consistent. The arena defense I've created, because he was missing a lot of arena defense units, in my opinion. He has a lot of LD5s, but they aren't that great for arena defense. Let me know if there is something that is good for arena defense that you see here. There's Hertiet, there's Fermion, and then there is the Light Inosuke, there's the Light, Williams, there is the Talisman, the Lucifer, the Celia. Celia, questionable. It could be good in arena defense, but I think she's still pretty inconsistent, which kind of sucks. Doesn't have Triton, which really limited us with going with the speed defense as well. So what I decided to do, he has no Juno, I believe. Yup. What I decided to do is just go with the conventional Vanessa, Pyeongchul, Camilla, and Omduat. He is very low. A reason why we're getting some defense wins right now, but it doesn't really portray the defense rate that he could get as he climbs. But these are the builds. Vanessa, double shield will, not triple shield, because he didn't have triple shield runes. They could get the Vanessa very tanky. The Pyeongchul on violent energy, almost on 100 res. We're missing like this 1%. It's because of a gem. The gem didn't roll well, so He just needs to get a better one. And then Camilla on Violent Nemesis, and then finally an Omduat on Despair Will. Nothing really crazy. It might not get him a new record, but I think it should still do decent work. Finally, the Dimensional Dungeon, another one that a lot of people are interested in. I made him the Caldrian one because that is what he wanted, and this is the team that I went with. I use this team and it's pretty safe, so I believe Galleon goes first on 264 speed, Violent Focus, and then we have the Bernard on 261, Violent Blade. We have a Shaman on Rage Blade, and then finally a Verd on Violent Blade. We're gonna check this out. Also something that I think you guys do want to start building as soon as possible, as with this update, these drops are a lot better. I mean, the result is obviously RNG again, right? The rolls still suck, but at least you have a lot of runes where you could get the hype for. Like when you get a legend rune in these dungeons, you know, the potential of them are so high, so you get really excited. And then obviously the other downside is higher too, right? Which is good and bad, but I do like the fact that we could get excited, especially if you're like a hoarder like me. I like to usually keep a lot of these legend runes and then see if I could get something good when I mass power them up, especially with the changes recently, right? You can mass power up runes and just go through them one by one, hoping that you got a triple or quad roll onto speed, you know. I like doing that, so if you could do that with these runes, these ancient runes, I think that would be pretty neat. But again, the hype is higher, but also the disappointment is much stronger too. Wow, if he freaking landed that defense break there, it would have been over. We are lacking some accuracy here because unfortunately the runes weren't quick enough. I did want something that could get at least 260 speed because I think it gives the team another round of turns. I think especially for the Bernard, because if you don't, then before the Bernard moves, I think the boss moves, because if the Bernard moves in the middle once more and could use skill 3, I think it boosts everybody to move one more turn. Oh, look at that. Sucks that it's destroyed, but if that was Swift, that would have been awesome. Finally, I'm going to show you guys the changes I've made to RTA, which I'm going to be playing in the next video. I'm going to be playing his placements. I went with a totally new playstyle because with this box, it felt like it should go this route to have a lot more fun. This is the box that I've created, is more cleavish. Keep in mind that the speed tuning is going to be off. I know it's going to be off, but I just want to build some hard-hitting stuff, hoping that we could exploit the lower ranked people. And I do think it will still be enough to get him into Conqueror at the very least. So we have Talisman on Rage Will, we have a Lucifer on Rage Will, we have an Inosuke on Despair Will, we have a Kabila on Swift Broken. That's gonna be our fastest unit. We have a Dark Nezuko that maybe you could bring out if it looks like they're gonna go super tanky, and I don't know. Let's see if we could bring it out. But Violent Will, 100 res. We have a Fermion on Violent Will. We have a Chiyu that I was hoping that was skilled up, but I guess we'll use it as is. That's gonna be on a damage build. Again, if it looks like they're gonna be banning the Leo, then I do think we need things that could outspeed so that we can move. Swift Blade. We have a Jogin on Violent Will, 100 res, almost 100 res. I think we're again missing resistance, 3% here, or even 1 here and 2 here, something like that. We have a Frederica on Double Nem Will. We have a Leo on Vampire Blade, a harder hitting Leo. We have a Chung Pung on Violence Will, a Lucian on Fatal Will, a Moore on Rage Will, Poseidon on Despair Will, and then a Liesel on Despair Will. So you can see that I'm all runed up for a Cleave RTA placement, so I hope that we could have some fun tomorrow and do well in that placement. Hope you guys check out the next video. This account needs a lot of work, a lot more dungeon farming. Hope the update helps. A lot more grind farming. Again, hope the update helps. And then I think he also needs to figure out, or he needs to learn how to grind his runes, because I've seen a lot of runes that are very inefficient because he's probably jamming out at least a flat stat or maybe even a low percent stat for something else that is making the builds look really bad. I hope that I could find something that could show that. I think, yeah, Poseidon had it. Yes, like this one. This Despair rune has 26 speed, but then there's accuracy and resistance, and there's a crit rate gem. I think this is wrong. Even if this was like crit damage, it makes no sense to leave the resistance. If it was flat HP, then that would have kept the flat HP for sure and gemmed out the resistance. But anyhow, this gem made the entire rune really inefficient, but unfortunately it is what we have to use because of the speed. And he has a lot of runes like this. It's not just that, there's a couple more. Anyhow, I think that's the only one I could kind of pinpoint right now. Okay, this is another one I would have probably debated on accuracy or whatever this was. And I think, if anything, I would put it HP percent. Because this rune is way too fast, I think, for it to just be a damage dealing rune. I think if you give it HP percent, it could go on to a lot of units that could use this. And you could really get the crit rate from another rune, or even just a slot for a crit rate rune, and in many cases you might not need this crit rate. But there is no case, unless it's like a nemesis trap or something, where you don't need more HP. If you put in HP percent on this rune, a legend, and grind it to the max, this score will be probably over 200 points. But right now it's 171, and frankly it's not going to get much higher even with the legend grinds on these. It's gonna be max probably like 180 something. Again, if it was HP gem here with the HP grind, easily over 200 in my opinion. So these are the things that I think he needs to learn as he plays. I think he needs to know that crit rate, accuracy, resistance, these substats can be pulled from other very efficient runes. Anyhow, that was it for this improvement, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys want account improvements like this, please join my Discord, fill out the Google form. If you guys want account reviews, join my Patreon. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.